name is Brian Carley, and today we are at Willson Skatepark at Lakeshore Drive and Wilson in the uptown area of Chicago.
My name is Steven Metzer. I've been skating for probably 25 years, and I come here most weekends when I'm not traveling out of town, so it's kind of convenient, nice, good skate park, well built, good lines, pretty flowy, pretty good scene here, so I try to come here as often as I can.
So it was a fantastic addition to the neighborhood and to the city at large. Though we are in uptown, the Willson Skatepark is not certainly limited in draw to just this area. People come from not only all over Chicago, but all over the Chicago area to come and skate this park. It's a great park and a great location right by the beach and easily accessed from Lakeshore Drive. So it's a fantastic facility and well made and a lot of fun to skate for sure.
Well, hopefully they're kind of along the same lines as this particular park, because there's been a couple parks that have been built in Chicago that have kind of gone off the way they were supposed to be built and kind of went, you know, like they spent way too much money and they didn't want to invest the money correctly. This is probably the only park in Chicago where the money was invested correctly, and so it's, you know, it's the best park that we have. Everybody will tell you that. Like if you go to Logan Square Park, it's, you know, the ramps are falling apart. 31st Street, the transitions are, you know, way too steep because they shrunk the land at the last moment they're going to build. So this is the only park that's like super flowy, super fun, and you know, this is pretty much the park that everybody skates in Chicago on a regular basis.
Well, 31st Street Skate Park preceded this skate park by a number of years and was poorly executed. It was a good plan, but the actual product was not so stellar. Definitely a good effort, but not as fun to skate. So I think you lost some of the interest in utilizing that amenity. Good spot and a good idea, but just, you know, it didn't come through in the end as far as who built it. Where here, the folks that designed this skate park also performed the concrete and actually executed the construction, which ultimately was a much nicer facility and much better park. And before that, you know, you had skate spots and different ramps, and out in the outlying burbs there are private parks, a little more difficult to get to, you know, where you have more sparsely populated areas and, you know, where someone could afford to get a warehouse to build a skate park. They're just harder for kids to get to. So here you have public transportation, both bus and L nearby, and like I said, you have Lakeshore Drive right next to it. So people can really get here and people can take advantage of the amenities. So Chicago built something not only for Chicago, but for the entire metro area.
It feels great. It's like your own little home. Being a skateboarder for so long, you learn to kind of like live your life, your outside life, outside. You don't want to be stuck inside four walls, you know. You have this big plethora of concrete, different transitions everywhere. It's kind of like being a little kid your entire life. It brings in people from suburbs who want to experience bigger skateboard parks, what Chicago has to offer. It brings in core skateboarders, it brings in beginner skateboarders, it brings in pretty much every aspect of life. You have people coming in just to watch it because they're curious, because their kids want to do it, because they want to remember what it was like being young themselves.
I see a lot of different age groups here. Like I can come here on any given day and there'll be a 50-year-old dude skating, there'll be a 16-year-old kid skating, there'll be a 5-year-old kid skating. So it's kind of across the board.
Everybody's accepted with open arms. It's a great community, no matter what your skill level is, how long you've been doing it. There's no hierarchy of respect, who's the best, who's the biggest, who's the baddest, things like that. People come here to have fun and do their individual sport.
But the beautiful thing about skate parks, they're kind of self-policing. So if it's a good park and everybody likes to skate it, then everybody as a community of skaters will kind of take care of it, and they kind of watch out, you know, for each other. So that's, it's definitely a good thing, and that's the kind of the community of skateboarding. So
I would suggest that with our population of skateboarders that we have at least 2 more this size. Anything other than that is just chasing a dream, because Chicago doesn't have the money, and money needs to go other places. Unions, teachers, things like that, you know. Can't be selfish.
Public amenities go, skate parks get used just as much, if not more, than your basketball courts and your baseball diamonds. And as far as bang for your buck and maintenance and utilization, skate parks are up there with all those other all the other fields and parks and things that are built, because you can do it by yourself, you can do it with your buddies. You know, it never gets old. It's constantly evolving, and keeps being exciting for young and old. It is a sport, and it takes a lot of practice and a lot of athleticism to excel at it. And I think the fact that this is right here, and people riding by on their bikes and rollerblades and all that can stop and take a look and see what it's all about, and it definitely changes the perception in a positive way. And I think that helps, hopefully, the proliferation of more of these types of facilities, because people, their understanding of what it's all about changes when they see what kids can do. And what are kids, people. I consider myself a kid, a gray one.
If you want a thrill, if you want to experience something that's going to maybe change your life and your outlook on life, then give it a try, just like anything else. You only live once.
Thankful that this is here. I'm glad the city saw it fit to build this park and do it right. And every time I'm here, I have a great time. And I've been skating now for 25 years or more, and continues to be interesting and exciting, and I see these kids that are out here killing it, and I hope they enjoy it as much as I do when they're my age.